Hello and welcome to another episode of the Aesthetic Lifestyle Podcast. Now, as a guy in his mid-20s running a business, I understand why you're struggling with your health and fitness, right? Let's be real for a sec. This is my job, my profession, something that I genuinely really do enjoy. Yet it's still difficult sometimes. You're out there juggling work, family, stress, trying to keep the wheels turning. It's normal to feel like you've not got a huge amount of energy left for yourself because you're battling with high stress levels that are constant due to various things like long hours at work, either just trying to make ends meet, pay the bills, or to push your career forwards. Maybe you have people that slack at work and you end up with a huge workload because other people aren't quite pulling their weight. You've then got adult responsibilities, maybe kids, maybe a partner who also need your time, your energy, your attention. Your sleep is probably a little bit shit, right? Due to all these various things. Maybe the shift patterns that you're working. If you do have a young kid, they're waking you in the night. You're having to tend to them in the night. It's disrupting your sleep. And maybe feels like you barely have time to breathe, let alone cook some healthy meals or go to the gym. And when your time off does finally come, or you finish work for the day, all you want to do is sit, relax, maybe chill with a beer and a burger and not worry too much and just relax. And I get that. I really do. If we look at my last year, in the last sort of 6 weeks or so, I've let 2 team members go from my business, which cued my workload going up massively. A lot of additional hours added in, a lot of skills that I haven't necessarily had to do for a little while that I've then had to bring myself back into doing. And I'm also now about to start the process of not rehiring the same person, but rehiring someone for one of those roles to do editing in that in the background, which is not a strong skill set of mine. So having to do that whilst I'm working on something in the background that is hopefully going to launch on August the 5th for my current clients that I really do want finished, but I need this other person for. So there's a lot of additional stress there. I have traveled personally and for work. I've hosted different events. I've attended seminars. I've flown across the world. Okay, sounds great. And it is. Do not get me wrong, it is. Like the seminars that I've attended in Glasgow, in what's this place called? Been there multiple times. Totally drawn a blank. Hereford. Hereford. That is the one. So traveling all around here from Cornwall. I'm hosting one in a couple of weeks in London, literally at the time of recording a month yesterday, for some clients. I'm having some old clients come, I'm having some additional people come, and it's going to be really, really cool. I've also not so long been back from having some time away in America. I was in California, so the time difference was big, the flight was quite long, and generally I will get back and the next day I'm straight back into work. And then you have to train on top of that, meal prep, make sure you're organized with your food, organized with your schedule, which normally goes well, but not all the time, right? When I was coming back from America, my flight got cancelled, which was a real pain in the dick. I was coming home originally on the Saturday, which would get me home on the Sunday. I could have then chilled, relaxed, got a good night's sleep in, and started my working week again on the Monday. Instead, what happened? Flight got cancelled late on the Saturday, then spent a night in Vegas. Flight was then late on the Sunday. I normally have my client check-ins on the Monday. Didn't get home until late on the Monday, tired from like delays and whatnot, and then had to go from there. Now, it wasn't the end of the world because I did get a very, very nice compensation package, but still annoying regardless, because I then spent the rest of that week or just trying to get through to the weekend, really, really tired, head's a bit scrambled, just trying to sort of stay afloat and also train and whatnot on top of that. Record content with the low energy. It was a bit of a pain in the dick, but you know, then we've also got go on in all of our personal lives that are freaking draining. Okay, have been days, and there will continue to be days where I would rather cut my bollocks off than go and train. But here's the thing, okay? This is never not going to be the case, right? Life is never going to be perfect, and we can't expect it to be. Okay, the thing is, how most guys try to go about things is what really royally screws them. Okay, because, and you might have done this, and if you have, let me know. But you try and go all out, big daddy, big dick swinging, beast mode, 100% effort, and then you get to a week, 2 weeks in and think, oh my God, I can't do this, right? I can't do this. I can't sustain this. You've just got zero elements of flexibility in there. You're all in or you're all out. There is no middle ground here, okay? It's like you're jumping into ice cold water and getting straight out because you've gone, holy shit, that's way too cold. But really what we need to do is ease yourself in, because you're a guy listening to this, as you creep into cold water, it's already cold, and then you get to your bollocks and it's like, oh my days, that is freaking freezing. And you want to get out, but you just got to let them sit there for a few seconds, and then you get a bit more adjusted and you can move forwards again. And that's really what we need to do with your planning here. Another, just one that's so common, is you don't plan ahead, okay? Don't plan ahead with your time in general. So all of your time kind of into one big overwhelming brain fuck, right? And then so you haven't planned what you already want to do, but then you're saying yes to everything else and being pulled away from the things that you did want to do that you never even planned for. So then your time is just becoming less and less and less. And sometimes no is your best mate, okay? You then shattered, train, you've not planned when that's going to be, but then you've also said yes to going to the pub. Ultimately, you've got no boundaries and no standards that you stick to. So life is just pulling you along, kicking you in the nads, and you're there feeling like nothing works. I'm just not motivated enough. I'm too tired. Maybe I've just not got the discipline to do this. But let me tell you, the problem isn't you, it's how you're going about it. So here's what I've learned through not just coaching other lads, guys like yourself, by living it myself as well. So first of all, you've got to set yourself up for success from the beginning with realistic expectations. Okay. You don't need to be training 5 times a week to get progression. Okay. I always used to train 5 times a week and I always really, really enjoyed it. But as my business got busier, I had more to do. My time availability was less, and getting there 5 times a week was doable, but a stretch, right? And I was not enjoying it as much as I was before. I then pulled things back to 4 times a week, give myself that extra day of recovery, and it works great. So we have to look at what is realistic from the beginning in terms of your training, your nutrition, the routine that you actually set for yourself. Because if you're failing from day one with what you have, you're just going to kick yourself. You're better off like heat up. We walk into that cold water, we go bit by bit, toe by toe, bollock by bollock, rather than just try and, we call it tombstone into the deep end and hope that we don't hit any rocks. There's a big mentality switch that you need to have here. Too often I see guys just go in with this occasionally great hero mode mindset. They think they can just turn up, do absolutely everything, and life's going to be sweet, right? When really that is just inconsistent and not particularly good. What you need is to be consistently good. That's where we stack wins. And to enable you to do this, you need to have slack in your system, because we've got to understand life happens. Okay, my flight getting cancelled. Okay, we don't have, basic plan in place that allows us to understand what we need to do in these circumstances. We're fighting a losing battle from day one. So with my clients, we use the adherence builder. Okay, so we map out a plan with different levels that kind of flexes with your life. You can put your foot down on the accelerator, but you can also ease off. Okay, you're the one in control of the speed, you're the one in control of the gears. Okay, don't just have one plan and go, well, if it doesn't work, we're fucked. You then need to make sure you're planning ahead. Know what is happening, when you're training, when you're doing the food shop, when you're eating, when you're like everything is happening, when you're waking up, when you're going to sleep. Okay, so with the, oh shit, we've got no food, I guess we've got to order a takeaway routine. Know what's going down. Know food you actually need to buy. Okay, we'll just make everything so much more seamless for you. Okay. And sometimes things will still change. That is okay. But we need to have this basic thing that we kind of back to. It's like an elastic band, right? If we're coming away from it, we're pulling that elastic band away, eventually it's got to snap back into place. Okay. We need the routine to have something to snap back into place too. Okay. Then we've got to have boundaries and standards. Okay. Is your best mate. Your body, your brain love routine. Okay. So even simple things, know when you're coming away from your phone. Like if you can train at the same times, do that. If you can train at the same shopping time, go shopping at the same time. Great. Or just if that's not possible because of life, different shift patterns, whatever, have a time in the week when this is when I'm going to plan my following week. So I know when everything is going on. And when you're doing that, I was teaching the guys inside my free community this the other day. There's a basic way to do this. Okay. Got rocks, pebbles, and sand. And if we put these in the wrong way round, not everything will fit. Okay. If we've got this big fuck off container, right? If we put sand in first, it's just gonna take up load of space. We then put the pebbles in, they're gonna go on top, and then there's no room for the big rocks. And the big rocks are our important shit. Okay. Rocks, important shit. Pebbles, less important shit, but you know, to get done. Sand, non-important shit. Can sort of go wherever. If we put the big rocks in first, and then the pebbles will go between the gaps, and then the sand will also go between the gaps of what is left. And then all of a sudden, everything fits in. So we just have to plan when we're doing what and do it in order of our priorities as well. Okay. Don't forget, add some elements of fun into your plan. Have some things to look forward to. Otherwise, you will just end up resenting this whole process. So that's a really simple overview of how you can set yourself up for success a bit better. Okay. Realistic with what you're actually aiming for. None of this, to the wall from day one and hope it lasts. Build something that you can then build upon. Okay. Switch mentality from occasionally great, to consistently good. Give yourself slack in your system. Okay. And if you want to grab the adherence builder that myself and my clients use, just message me on social media, drop me an email saying adherence, and I'll send that over to you for free. Begin by planning ahead. Know when you actually need to do what. Okay. But just throwing shit at a wall and hoping something sticks, it ain't going to stick. Okay. When things are actually happening, be proactive and not reactive. And build in some boundaries and standards to your life. Okay. For example, myself, I do not drink alcohol if I'm working the next day, even one, okay, as like a basic standard that I have for myself, because the cons outweigh the pros for me. Like that one takes away some element of and I'd just rather not. I'd rather keep that standard in place because for me, I want to turn up for myself as best as possible so I can build a really good business, but I can also deliver the best possible service to my clients. So if this has landed for you and you've been nodding along, thinking, yeah, you know what, this sounds like me, do us a favor, hit subscribe. I've got a lot more conversations coming your way. And like I said, if you want the adherence builder, message me. Adherence, I'll send it over for free.